Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Amanda and I like to share videos of us starting our homestead from scratch. If you're not new here, welcome back and thanks for coming to catch up on everything because it's been a while. I've honestly just kind of been laying low, getting a lot of work done, putting my nose to the grindstone. These baby chickens take up a lot of my time, and the weather hit and it's nice and warm, and so I've been really going at it, trying to get some stuff done. So today I figured I'd just take you along with me and give you a little update of how everything's looking. The babies, the seedlings, some sourdough that I've recently discovered that's kind of foolproof. I'll bring you along with that real quick, and this will kind of just be a hodgepodge video. So let's go in the garage and check on these babies. So we have our piles of feed, and these little monsters are getting so big. Hello, babies. Hello, stinky babies. This is, I'll open this and they'll all come running because they think I have food. But look at all, they're so poopy. It's only been 24 hours since I've cleaned their wood shavings, and it's already nasty. You're nasty. Hello, babies. Oh, goodness sakes. Why are you all piled up there, honeys? Huh, babies? What'd you hear? What'd you hear, babies? What are you hearing? So I will tell you, putting that linoleum stuff down on these brooders, these brooders was the best thing we've ever done. It's so easy to clean. It's not easy with all of them in here, but it is easy to like block half of it off right here and keep them all to one side while I clean. That's been really nice. Hello, babies. So they're all doing well and looking good. But I did, however, lose one baby chick. I don't know if it was maybe just a birth defect or something, because I think it was the second week into having these guys in one of these. I think it was this last one I showed you. We just had one that was just laying there. It was just dead. I don't know what happened. It didn't look like it had any physical issues that, you know, it got pecked on and killed or anything. It just passed away, and everybody else has been healthy and good since. So I don't think it was any kind of disease or anything, but we did lose one, and I don't think it's any fault of the hatchery or ours. I think it was just a defect. So we're gonna swing back here and take a look at all of my seedlings. They are really ready to get out in the soil outside, but we're not quite ready to plant. Number one, I don't have my garden cleaned out and ready to go. And number two, we haven't really passed that frost date yet to comfortably plant these outside. So let's go take a peek and see what we're working with. So here's my newest purchase, this shelving. I just potted up these tomatoes. We have a couple weeks before we are going to be planting them, so they have time to grow. These are the gold medals from Baker Creek Heirloom. All of them are, the whole thing. Oh, Olivia made me this. The M made it to the wrong spot, but it was Love Mommy. That's for me. So she wanted me to keep it in here so I could see it every time I come in and take care of the plants. I got all of those done. Over here, these monsters are my Cherokee Purples and Big Rainbows. These are my Amish Paste, and I really need to get them potted up because they are huge and are really needing some more room to grow. And then I also almost had a casualty with all of my black cherry tomatoes. They overnight like completely dried out and just were crusty, so you can still see in there. And some died, but some did bounce back. So I really need to get these guys potted up as well. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I have 11 plants that I will probably plant 2 for myself, and then the rest I'll share. My marigolds are already blooming. They really need to get outside. Peppers are looking good. I lost a tray of onions because I had it sitting up here, and when I went to move it, I dropped it. And as you can see, there's the dirt from the casualty. So I lost a whole square tray this size of onion starts that I had in there. So we'll see if I could just work with this. Hopefully it'll be enough for me. This was supposed to be cauliflower that did not sprout. I have 1 Shasta daisy that sprouted, and then lavender. My first time growing lavender, so we'll see how that goes. This is broccoli and cabbage. They're doing phenomenal. And that's all I've got started. I wanted to do some basil and some other herbs, so I need to probably do that this week and hopefully get them out there. See, I gotta come in here and adjust the lights. I need a new shelving situation because this just does not allow for the height of the tomatoes, and they're really suffering for it. So I'm gonna have to try and trim some of this up. They're really not happy, but they should live. Ugh. See what I mean? So I've got some work to do on these with trimming and readjusting the lights. I can fix that one. I just can't get over there to fix it right now. These guys are burning up on the lights because they're too close. So that's one thing that's not very favorable. I have some more time with these. So yeah, these are my seedlings, and we'll go in and check out my sourdough. So here is my starter. It was down here when I fed it last night, and it has grown, and it is about ready to use. Oh yeah. She's ready to go. She hasn't fallen back down yet, and it's still looking good, so I need to get that going here as soon as I'm done recording. And then I did end up making a loaf of sourdough with strictly just home ground. Here's my wheat berries, my hard white wheat berries. I ground it up and I made homemade sourdough sandwich bread. And it's with home ground flour. I did not use any store-bought commercially ground flour. This was everything I did on my own. It did not rise how I like it. I have some learning curve to do with it. It's a little bit dense, but it tastes fine. It tastes good. It's actually a little more sour of a sourdough. And then here is my normal sourdough bread recipe that I use with, hang on one sec. This is the sourdough sandwich bread that I use with commercially bought ground bread flour. And let me tell you, this stuff is amazing. It tastes so good. And my husband actually requested that I only make this from now on, and I don't make yeast sandwich bread. So easy enough for me. I like that I can use my sourdough more now, and it's a little bit better for your gut health. So I have to make some more of that today, and I'm actually going to experiment with this same recipe for my sandwich bread, and I'm going to try and make 2 loaves of sandwich bread, which I know I can do 2 at a time because I've done it and it works great. And I'm going to probably use some to make 2 batches of sourdough brat, like hot dog buns. I want to see if I can make hot dog buns out of it, because let me flip this around and I'll tell you what we've been up to. This past weekend, we went in with another couple that we are friends with, and we ended up buying and butchering completely a hog. We got an older, not super old, but she was an older hog, and we ended up butchering her from start to finish. Normally we get our hog from a neighbor, and his sow did not take this year. So we were waiting to see if we would hear from him. My husband called him and was like, hey, just checking to see, if we're going to be able to see one of the pigs that you are raising, and he said, actually, he said, I'm really sorry, but my sow didn't take. We don't have one. And so we were really counting on that meat, you know, because we don't like to buy a lot of meat from the store if we don't have to. And so I told my friends this because they were actually wanting to buy a pig from him as well. And they said, well, you know, my relative has a pig that's ready to go. We could do that. And I said, let's do it now or never, because we need to get it in the freezer. And so we ended up rearranging our whole weekend last weekend and getting the hog butchered and completely done start to finish. We normally have our neighbor take the hog into our local meat store, meat market, and they will do the butchering, skinning, all of that, and then they'll cut it in half for us and hang it so that it's nice and cold and we can butcher it nice and quickly. Whereas this time we had to do it from alive all the way through on our own because it was such short notice. None of the meat places could get it in to butcher and skin and all that stuff for us. So we had a learning experience. We know how to do that now, and it was a lot of work, but it was good to have that under our belts now, so we kind of know what we're doing. It's a little different from a deer, but it was done. It was doable. And we spent 3 days doing that from start to finish. We did majority of it in sausage and hot dogs and brats. And then we didn't do any like pork butts or shoulders or anything like that. No roasts. We got a loin, the tenderloin out of each, because we split it. We split the hog between us and the other couple. So we each got a tenderloin, we each got a rack of ribs, and we're each getting a slab of bacon that my husband's working on. That takes about 7 days to dry brine in the fridge and flip and all that good stuff. And then he's gonna smoke it and we'll slice it. But we did get pork chops out of the main tenderloin, the main piece. So we got a really good amount of meat. I think it was like 163. It was more than that. I think we got more meat than that total from the pig. I think she was 360 something live weight. But yeah, we got a good chunk of meat and a lot of time spent with our friends. And it was really nice being able to do it with someone else. So if you can find somebody that wants to do this with you or has the knowledge, like they're an older couple and so they really have a lot more knowledge. And it was nice to glean some of that knowledge from them and just have a good time doing it together. So that's what we've been doing. We have brats and hot dogs for the whole summer ahead. So we're ready for the warm weather. And now I just need to see if I can make sourdough hot dog buns. I know I can make yeast hot dog buns, but sourdough is going to be a different story. I have an idea of how I want to do it, but we'll see what we can do. So I'm going to take you guys along with me a little bit here while I make some bread, and we'll just hang out. I'm just gonna go. Okay, it is now almost evening, and I didn't take you along for a lot of the stuff that I've been doing because I think I bit off more than I can chew today, but we'll find out. I just loaded up my canner full of chicken broth, and I still have some in my pot over here. So I'm going to go ahead and get the lid on this, and then we're going to get it warming up. Okay, you'll have to forgive Miss Olivia. She's struggling with allergies this year, and she has a nasty cough when she gets up and is running around. And she was up running around a little bit just a bit ago playing. So we're going to let this come up to pressure. And for any kind of broth that you're going to do, can you turn it down, honey? Liz, can you turn it down a little, please? For any kind of broth that you're going to do, it's 20 minutes for pints and 25 minutes for quarts. You pressure it up to whatever your pressure weight needs to be. You can look all of this up in the Ball canning book, and I think USDA has some canning stuff. You can just Google it. Make sure you get accredited, proper place to get your information from. It's not always safe to just go by what you see on Pinterest. So for me, I pressure at 10 pounds of pressure on my weight, and I do that for 25 minutes. I'm going to let this come up to pressure and start spitting out steam. You want it to steam and have a steady stream of steam. I can never say that. Coming out of your nozzle here. Right here. This nozzle, you want to be squirting out a ton of steam. And then you set a timer for 10 minutes, let the 10 minutes run, and then you will put your weight. I have an All-American canner. See where my thumb is? It says 10. Maybe you can't. There we go. It says 10, and there's 15, and 5 is kind of a little rusty looking. But anyway, I will stick this on just like that. And once this starts rattling is when I'm going to start my 25-minute timer for these quarts of chicken broth. It's been warm in here, so my makeup's deciding to run on me, I see. But let me fix my little tripod so I can show you guys what I'm doing. That's the one thing I hate about this up here. It hits. And I can't use my microwave very much when, you okay, honey? When I am canning. But in here, hidden deep in the abyss, I have 3, I'll pull one out, I think I can. Anyway, I have 3 of my sourdough sandwich loaf, oh no, recipes in here rising. They're getting bigger. I still have about an hour and a half on these before I start shaping them into bread loaves. And then I'm trying a new recipe. So I have 3 of those going, sorry. I have 3 of these going. And I'm gonna do, I think 2 into the sourdough sandwich loaves like I showed you earlier. And then I'm gonna use one of them to experiment with to make hot dog buns. So we'll see. And then in my oven, not on, I just have this in here. Oh god, she's looking good. This is to make round sourdough loaves. Look at the bubbles. Oh goodness, she's happy in there. So I want this to at least raise about 50 to 75% from where it was, and it's already risen from where I started. So she is going back in here, and hopefully in about a half hour it'll have risen some more, and then I can start shaping round loaves. And I'm going to use these with a tea towel. I'm going to put the tea towel inside of this, and it's going to basically end up being, let's see if I can show you here. My camera skills are all over the place. I'm so sorry. It's going to be a backup for this. I have one of these, and instead of trying to blow tons of money on trying to buy these with the little covers, I went to the Dollar Tree for $1.25 and I got a bunch of these, and I already had a huge like 20 pack of tea towels, so I'm already saving money because these are not cheap on Amazon. But I mean, they're fairly cheap. They're not like bad, but for doing bulk baking like I plan to do for my farmer's market, they're pretty relatively close in size. So I am curious to see how the loaves turn out. So we'll do one in this and one in this, and I will do the comparison. And if it's pretty darn close, then that's what I'm going to keep using. So that's what I'm doing this evening. No idea what I'm doing for supper. This is just kind of part of my day. I get carried away with all my projects, and then supper time comes and I'm like, sorry, can't help you. No, I'll figure something out. This is another reason I think I want to try and have some frozen meals put away, and I think I might do a video on that. I'll take you guys along with me and show you some of the freezer meals that we like to prepare for our family. If this sourdough recipe turns out well for hot dog buns, I'm going to try and do burger buns, and then we can do sloppy joes and anything that goes on a burger bun. So if it wasn't yucky weather today, it is like we're under a wind advisory because it's so bad. It's like 60-mile-an-hour gusts, and I hear stuff ripping off and falling down outside. So I'm losing more branches, but it's fine. Well, we still have so much to clean up from this last winter. Might as well add to the pile of branches because we have so much to do. But it's too gross to try and grill outside. We're also under a fire ban, so can't really do anything like that. But I might do frozen pizzas for everybody tonight. And then I'll just keep on canning because I'm going to do this batch. And then I have a little bit left in this one. And that might be about 3 or 4 quarts. Or maybe I'll do pints because sometimes I only need a pint for a recipe. So I might throw them into pints and then can those up too. Just trying to get my freezer cleaned out because butcher time is going to be here before I know it. Those babies are getting butchered June 16th, 19th, something like that. I have to look at my calendar again. But they're an 11-week bird. So from the 11 weeks from April 2nd till 11 weeks away is when we butcher. So we will be doing that before we know it. I have such a long list of stuff we need to get done this spring, which is also why I've been slacking on videos. But I still wanted to take you guys along with me today, give you an update on how everything's doing, check in. How are you guys? Leave me some comments. I love to hear from you guys that are subscribed to me. Tell me about yourself. I want to know who's subscribed and what you like to do, what brought you to the channel, just a little bit about you guys. I really want to get to know you guys. Part of doing this YouTube channel is now that I'm at home with my daughter, I don't really have a lot of adult interaction. And if I do, they don't necessarily like the things that I like canning and baking and cooking and gardening and chickens. So if you guys like that stuff or are interested in that stuff and are learning, drop it in the comments. Let's be friends. I want to get to know you guys and I super appreciate you being here. So I'm going to keep going with this. I hear it's starting to vent. I'm going to keep an eye on it and then we'll be canning. So I'll bring you back when it's time to bake and you can see what everything looks like. Oh my goodness. It is a lot brighter out than I anticipated. I didn't want to be squinting in this video, but just wanted to wrap it up quick. I'm gonna insert a picture here or somewhere of all of the bread that I ended up finishing baking. I got 2 of the round rustic loaves. I got 2 of the sandwich loaves. The hot dog buns did not turn out well. I mean, the flavor and like the consistency was good, but the shape was not, it was no bueno. So we are gonna have to get like a hot dog loaf pan or something like that, something along those lines to try and actually make loaves next time. But I think I could do burger buns out of that recipe. It seemed to do seemed to do well in a smaller setting, in a smaller batch. So, excuse me. This is part of why I haven't posted this video and why I didn't take you guys along with me. The coughing that you heard earlier in this video of Olivia ended up not being allergies. It ended up being a cold. And now I have the cold and my husband has the cold. And so we're just kind of trying to pump ourselves full of vitamin and sunshine and fresh air and kick this cold. Hopefully it's the last cold of the spring winter season, and then now we're going to be on to summer and not being sick because I got way too much to do. So yeah, we just made some really good bread and I had a blast doing that. We got what ended up being like 12 quarts, 7, 8, 9, 10, I think it was 10 quarts, sorry, 10 quarts of that chicken stock canned up and put on my shelf. I want to do more this week. I want to do as much as I can out of that freezer because I have a whole, like, you know, those bags that you bring to the grocery store, the reusable grocery bags that are big. I have one of those whole things filled in my freezer full of veggie scraps and chicken carcasses that I really need to get into my roaster and make chicken stock. And I'd rather have it all ready to go on my shelf in broth form than sitting in my freezer taking up space. So I want to hopefully do that this next week because today is now Friday. It's been quite a while that it's taking me to shoot this video, but I wanted to wrap it up and get it put out there for you guys. And then hopefully we'll take you along with some of the building of the chicken tractors. My husband is hoping to do that tonight, or excuse me, tomorrow. Our smoker, as you can see right there, we're going to be doing some bacon tomorrow because we did that pig that I was telling you about. It's been 7 days now, so my husband is going to put that on the smoker. We will slice it up and package it on Sunday. That box right there is the second chicken netting. I think I showed you guys that maybe in a video. I'm not sure. So now we have 2 162-foot net enclosures, so it should be plenty of room for the chickens. It's super windy. I would bring you back there to show you where we're gonna put the chickens. You know what? Let's just try it. If the wind is bad, we will try and edit it out. So I'll flip the camera around and I'll show you where the chickens were and where we want to put them. So over the course of the last week and a half, it's got rain, and we are growing grass like wild. We already need to mow, which is amazing. I'm glad. Now, hopefully, if the wind and weather can hold off, we can actually get some mowing done. But look, I think maybe tomorrow, since the wind is not supposed to be too bad, I might get Olivia, my little one, out here with me, and we'll pop a squat on the ground and we'll pick dandelions, and maybe I can make some dandelion jelly. I've seen it done. I've heard it tastes like honey, and I want to give it a shot. So here's the garden. Figured I'd show you that. Gosh, the wind, you guys. I'm so sorry if it's bad. I'll try and block it as best I can, but it's super windy today. I still need to clean all this out, move cattle panels. This is where they were last year. I'm sure you could look back in my videos and see last year's birds here. But now, oh my goodness, the wind. I should have put my hair up before I came out here. Hair's getting in my face. We're gonna go, maybe I can sneak through this way. I might edit some of this out or speed it up. Hey you! What are you goofballs doing back here? Oh, here we go. These are a nice windbreak. As you can see, my lilacs are coming on with their leaves. That's what we like to see. These are a fantastic windbreak. I may just cut them back and trim them back a little bit so we can mow through here a little better. We have these goofballs back here thinking they're doing something. Are you fertilizing the yard back here? Yay, my anniversary peonies are coming up. Those are white peonies my husband got me for our 2nd or 3rd year anniversary. I don't remember for sure. But we have been together 9 years now. So those have been coming on strong. I call them my anniversary peonies. And then I just got some other shrubbery and stuff back here. And then I went and bought myself another white peony set because I'm a little OCD and I wanted to have one on each end. So those are coming up good. I got a weed in here. I want to put a nice flower bed back here. This is my back deck, kitchen, living room area. So this is kind of just whatever land right now. But so back here in this flat part of the field is where we want to put the chickens this year. That way I could come out the back deck and I have steps right over there. The steps come down. My husband said he will get a water hookup for me over here. He said it'd be no problem to put one over here so that I could have water back here for them. And then we got to do some leveling and grading out, and adding some dirt is kind of a hot mess back here, but it's still walkable for me to be able to get to the chickens. So I think that's what we're going to do. We'll put them back here, and then we also have talked about that being our future home for the barn. We are thinking about putting our barn there. There's this greenery. Excuse me, chicken lady. I'm not trying to chase after you, girlfriend. Oh my goodness, we need to clean up after winter. Look at all this stuff from last summer. Gee whiz. But that grainery, you see in the distance. Oh my gosh, the wind. Hang on one sec. This video is all over the place, guys. I'm so sorry. I will have better content once the weather warms up. There's a granary. Of course, now I have a tree in the way. That needs to get pulled out. That granary, my camera's terrible. Off in the distance right there, we are going to call some movers, and we're going to have them come out here and see if they could give us an estimate, or even if it's doable, to have that granary moved over here onto our property. It is my in-laws' granary. That's their land. They don't have any use for it. That granary, they just would rather it not sit and rot. And so they've said that we can have it if we can move it. So we need to call a local mover to have them come see what they think about the integrity of it, if it's, you know, a doable thing. And then if we could get it over here, we'd have to look at leveling that, cement. So, I mean, there's going to be a lot of work that's going to go into that, but we just want to go measure it to get a rough measurement on it. And I'll take you with and kind of video what it looks like. So you can see inside of it, it has a split. I think it's mostly down the middle. It's got a split wall down the middle with a door. So it could be split into two, and it could have two sides of it. You could store like feed in one side and then animals in the other, or make two different stalls. I'm not sure, whatever. It's possibilities are endless. I've thought about it a lot. Let's just say that. So first step is going to see if we can actually move it over here. Second step is going to be figuring out funding to try and move it over here. We're going to try and see what we can do. Save up for it. It may be a fall type thing situation if we can make it happen and go forward with it, moving it over here. It might not be. It might be a spring type deal for next year. I hope the integrity of it's good. I hope we can do that, because I'd rather see a piece of history come over here and get put to use instead of just sit in a field and rot and break down. So that's kind of what we're thinking. That's where the meat chickens are going to go, back there this year to get taken care of. This pen is my dog's pen. I just got a GPS shock collar that I want to try out with her. She just will absolutely not stay on the farm at all. She will run. She gets her nose to the ground and she's gone. She was a rescue dog that my husband got before he and I got together, and so she didn't really have a lot of formal training. She was about 2, I believe, when he got her. She's an old girl now. She's like gotta be 13, 14. She's an old girl. So we are going to just see if we can use the GPS collar to keep her in the yard. And then I could take all of this down, this whole fencing, and then that will actually, my back door, you come out the back door, and then I can actually have all of this wide open so that I can just walk out the back door and straight over my garden. And I could plant berry bushes back here, and I could do raised beds, and I could do all kinds of fun stuff in this space that's right now being used for my dog to poop. So that's another thing we're going to start working on. You gotta train them to the collar with the flags. So once the weather gets nice again, it's all weather pending, then Sheena and I will start working on that, and that would make her be able to come to the garden with me. She could be out at the play set with Olivia and just kind of help with being near us and security. You know, she's a good guard dog. She does not like strangers on our property. So it'd be good to be able to have her out with us, just to help keep us safe too. So those are some of the things in the works for spring. Itching to get in that garden. It is so muddy. I tried to walk in there this morning and I sunk. I took one step into the dirt and just my boot was full of mud, and I'm like, okay, we're not doing this today. Maybe tomorrow, since it's been so windy today, maybe we will get lucky and it is blown out some and it isn't as sinky. We can go in there and try and clean some of that up. The only thing it would be good for is pulling out some of those fence posts to reposition them. So wet ground would help with that. Yeah, that's kind of the update on what's going on. We're doing all right. Trying to get over this little cold. It's not too bad. I'm starting to get better now. Yesterday I was really pooped. It was moved straight into my lungs. I have asthma, so everything moves into my lungs, but as you can hear from Olivia, it's really in our lungs. Trying to get that phlegm cleaned up and out of there and back on the mend. So I appreciate all of you guys being here. Oh, that's one more thing. If you've made it this far, comment below and tell me what day and what time of day would be best for me to do a live stream. My sweet brother, I showed him my channel and I said, oh my gosh, Christopher, I actually have 400 subscribers. I didn't think I would get 20. And he's like, well, have you ever thought about doing a live and like interacting with them? And I said, I didn't think I could do that. And he said, yeah, he said, I have a channel with 2 subscribers and I could still live stream. I thought you had to have like 1,000 subscribers to live stream. So I thought it'd be fun if I chose a night or morning, whatever works for the majority of the subscribers, and maybe do like a question and answer type forum, like get to know me and I can get to know you guys, and we could just do a live and I could sit on there and answer questions or just chat and just have a good time. So let me know in the comments what you want to do, what day and time of day would work best for a live stream, and I will try and set it up for next week. So just let me know what you think. I appreciate all of you guys being here. 400 is like, I can't even describe. Like, I'm just thoroughly blessed that you guys have chosen to subscribe to my channel and you're with us on this wild journey as we try and make something out of nothing. So I appreciate every one of you. You guys have a great weekend and we'll catch you next week. Bye.